Hello, everybody, and welcome to Expansion Network. This is episode number 73 of the Ask Julius Show with the one and only Casey. Hi, Casey, how are you?
Everything is great. Hope everybody is spectacular today. I was just laughing. We were just talking, Angel, about I think we're coming out of Mercury retrograde. It seemed like the strangest of strangest in August of this year, right? It just seemed weird and stagnant. And so hopefully we're getting some breakthrough. Hope everybody's getting a lot of breakthrough in their life and away from this stagnation that seemed to be just hanging out there for everybody, right?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, obviously, there's always things going on. You never know some things, when you realize there's a trend, right? And suddenly one day you realize that like everybody is overreacting or overexcited. So yeah, definitely you think, okay, so what's going on? There's something in common here. So everybody seems to be a little bit off today. But anyway, the good thing is that bless you, absolutely, bless you. But that's why we have here, the wonderful, Ask Julius show, in which every single week at 7 p.m. or around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US, we actually ask Julius and their group of entities, questions. And the audience is responsible actually for the questions. I'm sure that the audience is ready with comments and questions. Absolutely. Here they are. And Greg Nyman saying, hello, everyone. Hello, Greg. Great to see you. Absolutely. We also have Angel Wings Amanda, arguably one of the furthest away members of our audience, right? We've never made a bet on who is the furthest away, but probably Amanda is one of the furthest away. So thank you for being with us also, not only Greg, but also Amanda. Morning, everyone. So happy to be here. Much love, Amanda. Absolutely. We love you too. Thank you so much. And again, as you know, everybody knows that we are always here around that time. Sometimes it's a little bit early, sometimes a little bit later, but we are here always. And we have to appreciate you, obviously, because you always show up as well. And you see that there is actually there's a QR code. And let me make sure that I'm using the right QR code. I think I'm using the right QR code, right? The thing is that we have so many promos. There are so many pieces of, I would say, experiences that are available that, over time, again, it's 73 episodes. We've talked about so many things that we have offered you so many different experiences. And obviously, we are glad that we're able to share them with you. And, that's why we have this QR code here, because we want to make it easy for you to access the location where you can actually see the content, what is it about, and also you can sign up for it. And as you know, halfway the show, Casey always makes a thorough explanation of what this promo is about. And today is about blowing up your energy. All right. And we have more people here. The one and only Lori Haley. I had not seen Lori for a while. Obviously a big, I would say, an extraordinarily extended member of the Ask Julius show for sure. Thank you, obviously, so much for your support. We could call Greg also an extended member or a member of the extended team of support to us. And obviously everyone else here. All right. So I see names that I had not seen for a while. Jen is also saying, yay, love catching you live. Much love. Absolutely, Jen. We are really happy to have you back. We have not seen you for a while. Thank you for being back. And then we also have Mama Wales, and we had not seen Mama Wales for a while too. So hey, she's saying hi, everyone. Absolutely. So again, all these members of our audience, that they have always questions ready to be asked. And as I always do in the beginning of the show, I know that Casey wants to say something because she's raising her finger. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to say, what's been amazing, Angel, part of the process of getting to know your audience or having the opportunity to have a show that's been running as long as this one has and getting to know these familiar names and these familiar energies of people that come in so respectively and honorably and graciously into our chat room, always having these wonderful extensions and exchanges with these people. If I've gotten to meet these people through having personal services with me, and on a couple of occasions didn't realize that they were our familiar names from our show until Sue, our beautiful production manager, was like, hey, that was so-and-so from the show. I'm like, oh my gosh. And getting to have these personal sessions through Zoom and getting to meet people, I cannot tell you how blessed I feel in my life. I hope everybody feels as blessed as I do in their lives this time around. It is so amazing. And so we know that we attract the highest vibrational people. It is just amazing. And Angel, again, thanks to you and your enthusiasm and all of your bright, beautiful light that you bring to the show. It's the best time of the week is Thursday evenings, right?
Oh, absolutely. We all look forward to it. Thursday evening. Also, we have such a loyal audience. I mean, all of you, week in, week out, you're here all the time asking questions. I was saying the other day, we were reflecting upon how many questions had been asked, and it's incredible how it's very rare when a question, repeats itself. So when the same question is asked more than once, and which is amazing, which means that really this is a place for expansion. It's a place where like new pieces of knowledge, new pieces of, I would say, wisdom and new experiences are provided every single week. So we're really thankful for that and obviously proud. And all right, so blessed beyond belief. Thank you so much, Amanda, for that. Okay, and then Beda Fakar is saying, yes, Jane, send me love. Okay, wonderful. And then obviously we have Hilda B as well. Hello, everybody. Magnificent souls. Thank you so much. And actually, we have to also thank Hilda because Hilda always has a bunch of questions ready. She's one of the thought leaders of our audience pack, if I can call her like that. I hope I can do that. Obviously, very, very respectfully and friendly. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna downsize myself temporarily. As you know, the main character here is Casey and obviously Julius and the group of entities. So let me make myself small. Just 1 second. Okay, here we are. All right. So we will start with the first question as there are no live questions yet. Okay, it's too late. Actually, Hilda just posted one question. Thank you, Hilda. You were ahead of me already. And that's Hilda's question is, are the artificial moons and suns manufactured using organic raw materials such as debris from organic celestial bodies, or are they holographic projections generated by computers? Quite a question.
Really interesting question, Master, because the truth is everything's a holographic projection. That's the truth. Okay. So this gets really interesting. If you really want to dive into the actual truth of things, Master, is you're a holographic projection. This embodiment is a holographic projection. So that really is a mind-bending question that you are asking. Really what you're asking is, are the artificial moon and sun, which everything's artificial because everything's a holographic projection, is the substance at which the illusionary projection made out of organic or inorganic projection off of a computer? Well, that's a long argumentative question because many would say that we as physical embodiments are a computer simulation based on your description of it. Okay. So how broad do you want to go with that question? What you are determining, or what is often described as organic material, is still holographic, Master. It is a truth. If you're talking about some type of a simulation screen projected hologram running on a computer program system, one could argue that's what the Matrix is, right? So how do you want your mind to work with that question, Master? How would you like the answer to be presented to you to satisfy your curiosity? We would ask, I guess, really, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? If you know that everything is a holographic projection, Master, of your thought field, and it is, what you would ask yourself is, does it make you feel like? And that's what makes it real. how it feels or how it activates an emotional response from you is what makes it real or not. For we're going to support that what you perceive to be the organic sun isn't any more real than any other form of holographic projection. That's a truth. That is a truth. There are benefits to organic material energetically, frequency-wise, in the effect of what you are perceiving to be an organic holographic projection on the earth. But what if we told you this? On the earth ship, there is a mix between an organic holographic projection through the thought field and an inorganic computerized projection coming from a program. What if we told you there's a mix going on? There's a huge mix going on, including everything in your solar system, including everything on the top of the earth, including everything interdimensionally in all of the realms. So that is your answer.
Wow, quite an answer. Let me ask you a follow-up question, because we talk about holographic projections all the time, and maybe not everybody in the audience is like familiar. What is a holographic, what is a holographic projection? Because today, you even went a little bit further and you said we are. So we would understand like things around us, but obviously we look at each other, right? So
yes.
How can we easily understand, Julius, what
yes.
is a holographic projection? So it's easier for us to understand the reality that we live in.
Yeah. So, Master, you are source, and through your thought and emotional field, you will create an experience. And because you are source and you literally control everything around you, you project your thoughts and your emotions outward in an energetic frequency field. The vibration of that frequency field in a dimensional space will determine the vibration for which particles are activated or created in your atmospheric condition. That same frequency will determine whether those particles coagulate together and create an image based on what you know is in front of you. You see, Master, your source, your God. That's what humans don't get. They don't get it. They seem to be able to get that somebody out there is creating a holographic projection, but they don't understand they're doing it. They're doing it. Quantum physics describes this perfectly. Through your emotional state and your brain's perception of being either the doer or the observer in any situation, you create a reality. But because it can go away and it shifts and change, we will say it's not real. For what is real, Master, is what stays, what is permanent. And that's the way an experience makes you feel. Everything that holds material together isn't real because there's no such thing as a solid. Everything is just a simulation of vibration holding particles of matter together. You can see this happen when they do sound frequencies and they lay sand particles out on a table and they vibrate that table with sound frequencies and they all dance and shift and they become in these extraordinary sacred geometrical patterns. That's you. That's what they're demonstrating. The problem is you don't understand it because you can't see it and you can't feel it because you've dulled yourselves down to the sensation of not knowing that you're source. It's amazing what coming back to that knowing literally proves itself to be in your reality. So you are a holographic projector. You are projecting your attitude of your thoughts in front of you to validate them back to you. That's why we say everybody's right. Everybody's right about their thought projection and their possibilities. Now, a computer does the exact same thing, only the person programming the computer is programming in their thoughts and emotional projection, and it then is coming through a light field projection of filming. But it's the same process. It's the same process, Master. It gets really interesting and really, really complicated or really, really fun or not. Sometimes it's hard for people to think, it's not real. What are we doing here? And we will say, you gaining knowing that you are source through creative experience, expression, and expansion is what is going on. The never-ending process of source expanding itself in the knowing of all that it is. That's who you are and what you're doing. And you're doing it in so many different ways. Truly is amazing. We don't want any of you to take it too seriously. What we really want you to do is focus on your emotions and your thoughts. The higher vibration your thoughts and emotions are, the more magnificent your holographic projection in your life becomes. And for those who are dead asleep, of one, they use onto your projection or trajection and are reliant on the way you perceive things until they wake up.
Wonderful. That was, I think that we lost momentarily. Hold on. Hi, Casey. I think that hold on. Let me go back to the big picture. I think what we lost you like first for a few seconds, and then first you froze, and then we lost you for a few seconds, but we were able to hear like 99% of what you were saying. So thank you so much. Again, it's
now you're frozen.
Okay, so maybe the audience can tell us what's going on.
Yeah,
I don't know. We apologize. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes he freezes. Yeah. Okay. So LMA. All right. So we have here several comments. Blah blah blah. Okay. Let me see. Yeah. Oh my God. We have a very active audience today. That's absolutely. So anyway. So actually, because today, actually part of our production team is on vacation. So if you guys would be able to tell us, the freezing thing when it happens. All right. So I see myself by myself, and I don't see Casey now. I don't know if you see the same thing, Mr. Yes. Bedat Fakar is saying a glitch in the matrix. It is what it is. Is what? Yes, we're talking about all the holographic images and projections. It's probably why. So if you were so kind just to give us a hint of what you see from your side, because we don't have anybody that is giving us like feedback, we would really appreciate you just to try to fix it, whatever needs to be fixed. Okay. So thank you. Anyway. All right. So let's go to the next question. Okay. It looks good. All is well at my end. I see and hear you both. It's beautiful. You see? It's so you and I are seeing a different holographic projection of our live stream today. Thank you. Yeah. Everybody's saying that all is well. It's amazing. Okay. So let's keep on going then. All right. Thank you so much. We have an extraordinary audience, Casey. That's amazing.
We do. We do. We have the best audience. I just love these people. Yeah.
That's funny, because, we have an audience that even when we are like frozen or we are cut off and we have no internet connection, they still see us. That's magical. That's definitely probably is because we really use a good platform for live streaming. There are millions of people actually using this live stream platform. And I think that's probably one of the reasons it's really, really robust, and probably that helps us a lot. All right, so let's continue. All right, there's a question from Deline James. Hey, Deline, how are you? Nate, great to see you too. And the question is, knowing that we designed our human costumes, does eye color have any certain meaning to it? There doesn't seem to be a large number of people with green eyes. And that's her question.
Yeah, it's a great question. It is a great question. So here's what we will tell you, masters. It depends on your perception. Many will say it's simply a genetic calculation. Truly is a genetic calculation as to the blue eyes versus green eyes versus hazel eyes versus golden eyes versus gray eyes versus brown eyes versus violet colored eyes. It is an extraordinary phenomenon. Okay. But we will always say that your costume is a vibrational aspect. It is a vibrational aspect. It is a truth. And that pigmentation, just like anything else, can be a representation of your energetic field. It can be. What we do encourage everybody to do is to try to radiate with as much vibrancy as possible, But we're still going to go back into this theory. Blue-eyed people tend to be more sensitive. They tend to be more sensitive. that transfers literally into the sensitivity of those eyes to the sun and to colorations. Blue-eyed people tend to see colorations very, very hyper pigmented compared to everybody else. And that filters down to any of the brown tonalities. The green tonalities can tend to be, some could say they lean into envy, they lean into control, and they can lean into dominance, and they can lean also into extreme insecurity. Those are just some of the characteristics that are commonly felt. Is that truly relevant? Well, we can tell you that some of it's determined on your environmental conditions. For some people, literally will move to different parts of the world and their skin color shifts a little bit, their hair color shifts a little bit, their eye color shifts a little bit. And then some of it also has to do with a decaying and erosion aspect as well. We love your question. And it really goes back to this. Everything is an extraordinary truth. And there are no two eye colors exactly the same. And your eye colors have all of the colorations in them. It's really just a question of percentage of pigmentation. That's truly what it is. And that can be affected by your mood. That can be affected by your environment. And it certainly, certainly, certainly is affected by your level of consciousness.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that question and for that answer. All right. So the next question actually comes from Bedat Fakar, and that's the question. Is it possible my father, grandfather could have been an ascended master, or are they just 5D and always take part in our journeys? Tons of crossovers and overlaps with their past lives flashing through me. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So an ascended master is somebody who reached a 6th level of consciousness while they were embodied and ascended themselves off of the earth ship. That's the description. So that has everything to do with your level of consciousness, master, achieved. If you do not reach a 6th level of consciousness and therefore vibrationally ascend yourself off the earth, odds are you're going to reincarnate yourself back again into all kinds of 3rd dimensional experiences or even multidimensional experiences as well. But here's the other thing. You're thinking singular and separate, and there's only one of us here. So we could be your grandfather and your father and you, and we are ascended masters. How do you want to go? How far do you want to go in your perception? Most people keep up a narrative based on singular and separate, which demonstrates your level of consciousness. It's not good or bad. It's just a demonstration. We understand that you perceive things as separate and singular. Therefore, because your grandfather or your father did not physically ascend off of the earth ship in what you perceive to be their last incarnation, they are not ascended masters at this time. They do not achieve their high levels of consciousness while not embodied. You raise your consciousness through your embodiment experiences. That's what we will tell you.
Wow. Okay. Wonderful. 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 Beautiful, I would say. Excellent. Let's go for the next question from Mama Wales. What does it look like when you can ascend and descend on and off the earth plane? That's a great question.
We're not sure what you mean by what does it look like. You mean to the being that is ascending or descending, or to the somebody witnessing the ascension and descension? So we're not sure which perception you are referring, but it's flashes of light for most people in witness. But you have to be vibrationally intact or in a match to witness it yourself. For remember, masters, that your reality is a projection of your energetic field, not anybody else's. So in order for somebody to physically ascend off of the earth, you may not see it. You may not be able to see it because it's a state of vibration that they're doing. But if your consciousness is not in that vibrational match, you won't be able to see it. That's what we will tell you.
Wow. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next question by, again, let me look for someone else that has not, blah, blah, blah. Hold on a second. Okay, here. Yeah, everything's saying that it looks good. I see you, both of you. Thank you, Deline. Thank you, Bedat Fakar, as well for the information. Yeah, Hilda, we see you perfect. Thank you so much. Clash, exactly, clash. Bedat is saying clash of whole O grams. Whole O grams. That was a good one. Thank you. You see, we have this incredible audience. Let me see. I'm just going, oh, by the way, we have Stacy Savage. I thought we had lost her. She says, so happy to be here with you all. We're happy too, Stacy. And she connects to different outlets. By the way, we had to make an announcement, which is that we were blocked again, I think, over the week. I think that there was one of our outlets that was again, like, how to say this wonderful word.
Well, we're stroking on truths if they're blocking us, right?
Absolutely. Obviously, if that truth was not like an uncomfortable truth, definitely that wouldn't happen. But anyway, so that all this to say that unfortunately, obviously, this affects us because what unfortunately we got blocked by the let me put it this way, Casey, the powers that be, was our Expand with Julius YouTube channel. Okay, so we will be out of that channel for a few days, and so obviously we want to apologize. But the reason why they did that is because we're talking about the truth. And actually, I would like to share, if you don't mind. I know it's your show, but I would like to share what is the video that caused these wonderful powers that be to block our video and actually to shut temporarily down our Expand with Julius YouTube channel. It was actually a video that we did live. I think it was like 48 hours after October 7th, if you remember what happened in Israel October 7th. So yes, we interviewed someone that was in Jerusalem who had a lot of friends in the border that was like, violated by the forces of another side. Okay.
And I remember that well. I remember that so well because we were talking about it on this show first, that show was coming up. It was impressive. Yeah.
Absolutely. Exactly. And actually we had Mireya Mashiach, who, as you know, was our co-host for a long time. We had her, now it's Ayla Ward. We had her, actually, we co-hosted an interview with a lady, actually a doctor, who is from Chile but lives in Israel. And she was talking about the testimonials of many of her friends in the area, in the border area of Israel with Palestine, the area in which, let's say, all the conflict started. And she was saying, so just so that right, the reasons why we were blocked is she was saying that all those citizens over there were actually complaining to the government that the border had been open and that there was no soldier to help them up to 24 hours after everything started. So there was no soldier to be found of the Israeli military. That's what she said. Again, she's an Israeli and a Chilean, and she had talked to her friends in the area, and she said that the citizens were really afraid because there was nobody to defend them during that period of time. So it's interesting. It's interesting that this is exactly what we get right now blocked. It's November, December. It's like it's been 10 months, right? Yeah. Or 8 plus 2, 10 months. So it's again, it's incredible also how they spend their resources, right? Like so they have a backlog of at least 10 months of videos that they are reviewing, and then they flag them, and then they do what they do. But anyway, I thought that it was an interesting idea to share with the audience, what had been blocked and the reasons why. Okay, so for some reason that information was bothering someone, and then our videos were blocked. But anyway, it was a great interview with Mireya, and we really enjoyed that conversation. Obviously, everybody that is in that area of the world since October, they definitely are in danger, and we have to we have to admire that they are still there. But anyway, as you know, I don't like to be the main character here. I just like to spice the show up a little bit whenever possible and whenever Casey and Julius allow me to do it. And let me keep on going down the list. Okay, Delene says, thank you. Yeah, and then Lori says, we can see you both. And then Bedati says send some emojis here. All right, so let me go back up where the questions are. And the next question comes from Bedat and is the following. As far as everything is mental, are there things we can wear to protect and elevate our frequency? That's the question. Because I know Germans had that medallion with the 7 metals or things like argon. What else? He's asking. Templar.
Crystals are wonderful for that, Masters. Crystals are wonderful. That is true. Many people carry different things around in their pockets. They create gridding systems in their house. All kinds of natural coppers and metals and things like that can definitely be used. There's no question about that. You get to figure out what resonates best for you. You truly do. And Masters, you are correct. Everything is a mental projection and a mental reality based on the emotions that you attach to that thought. We'll always say that you are the best protected through a high frequency state. Literally, if you are resonating in high frequency, nothing can touch you. So while you are going through the 3rd dimensional aspect and using things and using organic materials and natural things and elemental things to help protect your environment and help to protect your physical bodies, never, ever, ever, ever forget that your most powerful force is your conscious frequency. The frequency of your thoughts and emotions combined together is your greatest field of protection against any form of low frequency and fear-based negativity.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you for that for the question. Let's go to the next question. In this case, okay, let me go down the list. Hilda B. Some cultures place seeds in the mouth before planting them to personalize the nutrients of the plant. Mm-hmm. Is it beneficial to do that for our health?
Absolutely. And many people will do it by peeing or defecating in their gardens where their food is growing for the same reason. That way there's a connection, a DNA connection through the nutrients of what's being grown. That's the truth. That's the truth. And so absolutely, you can do that. So it has to do with the DNA coming in contact with the things that are being grown. That's true. It is very true. It used to be in ancient times and in many cultures that the women in the tribes will gather their monthly bodily fluids, and that will be spread in the garden as well, because then that way the foods will definitively help to nutritionally enrich the women during gestation periods, the children that are coming out of being breastfed and things like that, plus the nutrient factor alone from those bodily fluids is amazing. So yeah, we agree. Absolutely do it.
Wonderful. I had no idea of this, Casey. I have to confess. I mean, like, no idea of that. Obviously, makes a lot of sense, right? And speaking of fluids, by the way, there was another question. Again, I apologize, but maybe it's mercury that we were saying before. But there was a question. It was just coming up to my mind. I remember it's related to fluids. That's why it came to my mind. I was thinking about it the other day. As you know, one of the most unknown sources of health is the sea, and it's seawater. And we have been bombarded by movies in which the castaways they die on the sea. But I remember I used to go very often to Mexico. I remember the story of a Mexican sailor that he got lost in Mexico, and he appeared I think it was in Australia or in Japan after 6 months, something like really crazy, right? And obviously he had no water, right? And the only water he had was besides his body fluids was the seawater. And obviously there's a lot of people that talk about it. But so that's the question I wanted to ask is what are the real powers of seawater, and what is the connection that is, in seawater with us, and that's why it has so many benefits.
Yeah,
Julius.
yeah. And also, you can, first of all, you can drink your own bodily fluids. If you drink them within a 20-minute period, the toxicity levels won't bother you, personally you. They could bother somebody else, but they won't bother you. So literally, if you're stranded out somewhere, go ahead and drink your urine. It's not going to be pleasant, but it actually can help sustain you and keep you alive. But here's the other thing. Everybody forgets their biggest organ on their body, which is their skin. And it absorbs moisture. It absorbs moisture. Okay. So some people can survive longer periods of time by being in the seawater, because that water is coming through the absorption process of your physical body as well. How many of you have it? Well, we won't need to ask that question, but when you go swimming a lot, you have to go to the bathroom. Now that everybody would be like, well, yeah, well, I drank a bunch of stuff before we went to the pool, and we'll be like, did you? Or did you absorb a lot of that water because you're swimming? Okay. Also, same thing, collecting rain, or rain is coming through, so you can be drinking it and you can be absorbing it. And as you know, Angel, we have talked about this, and you have had people on your show about the breatharians and what can sustain the physical body as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I was just realizing, Casey, that we are already into minute 37. So I think that during the show today, I mean, to being very honest, I think that I changed timelines, honestly, because it has seemed to me like 5 minutes a show. It's so intense, and I'm enjoying so much the answers to those questions. So thank you so much, and obviously to everybody which is asking those questions, keep them coming, okay? All right, so let me see what new questions. Oh, we have another question here. Let's go for. All right. Oh my God. We will have to. We're saying that Hilda was one of the members of our audience who's making the most questions, asking the most questions. But today, for that, Fakar is definitely number one. All right. So let me go to the earlier question from Fadat. Here it is. Okay. And the question is the following. I let go of my thought fields and let go of my ego, but certain things have emphasized their importance by being a constant, like Jack de Molay. At what point do you go down the rabbit hole? That's his question.
Master, it's all about what you receive as a thought and your interpretation and your feeling of that thought that will take you into an expansiveness. Here's what we will tell you. You cannot make up a thought while you are an embodied being. Your brain does not create thought. It processes thought from the thought field around you. You cannot ever be wrong. There is no incorrect thought. There is a limited perception of the thought, and there is expansive perception of that thought, and everything in between. If you are processing the thought, Master, while you are embodied, it is somewhere, somehow, some way, because you can't make anything up. So however something is coming through for a thought, observe it, absorb it, expand it, don't judge it, and know that all truth expands itself, and have fun with it. That is the aspect of being source, because source is all of that thought, which is you. So, Master, you are actually expressing and experiencing your own self through an embodied perception. So don't ever deny any aspect of that.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. By the way, I want to also step in and answer this question. Jen was saying that she was feeling the same way, that I jumped the timeline because I can't find show 71. If I remember it well, what happened with show 71 was that show that we had so many technical issues, like we rescheduled it the same day for the same number show number, and actually there were announced, the same shows were announced twice for the same day at the same time, but only one went live. So maybe that caused the confusion. I apologize, Jen, for that, but there is indeed a chapter, an episode number 71, and you will find it. But yeah, I mean, that day we lost questions, we lost people in the audience. It was a little bit, but it is what it is. It's part of the game. And then there's a comment here, by the way. There's a follow-up question by Daylene, which is, can you expand a little more on a frugivore diet, since there isn't much information online?
Yeah, it's a primate diet. It's a primate diet is what it is. So look at what gorillas eat, look at what monkeys eat. They're frugivores. They're frugivores. So that's what you're looking for, is a primate's diet. That will give you better information.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so timeline shifters, welcome to the show. The show 73. I will remember it for my entire life. Show 73, the one that passed like 5 or 10 minutes. But that is saying thank you for that. I appreciate the in-depth answers to my many questions. An honor. Absolutely, the honor is ours. And thank you for, helping us with more questions. And again, let me go up the list of questions so I don't miss anybody. All right, let me see. Okay, all right. So, yes, it's from Badad as well. Okay, so the question is, to know it serves your higher purpose regardless of the mixed duality polarity right now, is the right thing to do to wait? That's his question.
We're not quite sure what you're asking. What we can tell you is this. Everything serves your higher understanding, Master, when you perceive things with no judgment attached to it. No judgment attached to it. Why? Because if we were to describe to you who and what you are, we would say all thought possibility. If you ever judge any version of thought, you are judging yourself, since you are all thought. Okay? When you judge a thought, you create a limitation to that thought, and therefore you will create a low vibrational demonstration of that thought, which is generally in alignment with fear. Fear is resistance to knowing that you are source. If you perceive a thought with an open-minded state, an open heart state, full of compassion and understanding and joy, you are vibrating with love, and it will always demonstrate itself as a miracle or miraculous possibilities within itself, compared to the alternative of fear-based dominant perception here on the Earth ship. And Master, remember this: time is an illusion. It does not run linearly. You are linear time is an illusion. Everything is stacked, or everything is concurrent onto each other. You just simply jump through your thoughts, and that will take you to different timeline variations of possibilities for yourself.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. And now we're going to jump into our promotion for the week. All right, so we are a little bit like late, but it's okay. Again, time is an illusion. All right, so blowing up your energy part number 2. And I'm going to bring, as I always do, okay, I'm going to bring the website, the web page where you guys can go if you take your cameras of your cell phones and you scan this QR code. It's going to take you to Blowing Up Your Energy 2-part workshop, September 3rd and September 4th, which is next week. So, Casey, what can you tell us about this? Let me go, as you always do, scroll up. What can you tell us about blowing up your energy?
We've been so blessed with so many courses and classes with Julius throughout the 15 years that I've had the honor of being the conduit for Julius this time around. And we love when people lean into our support context and make suggestions for things that they're interested in or subject matters that they're interested in. So this year, I had, on a personal note, in my personal life, I had many changes occur to my personal life, and those things are continuing for me. And many, many people got wind of the story because I was pretty open about sharing it, about a lot of the things that had changed. And many people just were wondering how I kept my energy up, how Julius was helping me thrive energetically in the conditions that had presented themselves or that I had created ultimately in my life. And we wanted to share it with everybody. I think that people probably believe that we all have our own processes for our lives, our little secrets, our things that we do for ourselves. And I never want to hide from everybody what my own personal process is from Julius. I don't throw it out to everybody because it is private and personal, just like all of your guys' routines, private routines are your routines. But we really wanted to put together a wonderful dialogue for Julius to talk to everybody about some of the suggestions on how to blow up your energy. Get it up, get it out there. It makes such a difference. It makes such a difference. The students in the academy have literally tracked me for the last 9 months from the 1st of January to now. And they have been so kind and supportive about all of my changes and shifts in my vibrational field, as well as the way I've been able to present to Julius. And we want to share some of that information for everybody because it will help you in your life. So this is going to be a class really where Julius is going to tell everybody, let's blow up that energy field. There's going to be the topic is going to include actual suggestions for you. And we're going to be talking about all kinds of possibilities. And that's what everybody needs. Don't we all just need to blow up our energy, right? We're having a blow up. We're having a glow up this year. So we thought we would have fun with that subject matter. Please come and join us because in the 2-part class and all the classes, you always get to contribute on the second lecture to your questions and your comments. So we're making sure that the subject matter, you're feeling that you are fully saturated with information and that you get to partake in the information. It's going to be a wonderful exchange.
Excellent. And again, I was scrolling up and down here. I put up again the QR code. Again, take your camera, scan this code, and you will immediately take into this page where you can find all this information. And as usual, this lovable loving, wonderful, collages at the top, which I love. I really love this, the color codes and the mixtures of the different colors. So thank you so much for that. And let's go back to our Q&As. I'm going to move to the small QR code about this blowing up your energy 2-part workshop. Okay. All right. So let's go back to question. I'm actually going to ask a question that is offline. All right, because we have a backlog of questions over there. What is, it comes from We Are All in This Together, that by the way, she's also present here. What is really going on in this spiritual war? Is it in the astral?
It's in all of the energetic fields, Master. So it's affecting all of the dimensional aspects of the physical plane, both hardcore 3rd dimensional, presenting itself in each of the realms as the governing aspect of that realm, but it also affects the interdimensional aspects of those realms as well, and all of the beings that exist, because it's a vibrational war. It's a vibrational war. It is a war between low vibration and high vibration. That's the best way we can describe it. But here's where things get a little bit precarious. You see, Master, a realm is a dimension governed. So all of your realms have a governing aspect to them, or a controlling or limiting aspect to it. That's what makes it a realm. But you also exist in purified dimensional aspect where there is no controlling things going on. So you have a much broader swatch going on than you realize. It's just that the realms have become so limited. They used to be more balanced. There used to be a little more of the equilibrium, and it's gotten way off kilter with the dominant field of fear. And unfortunately, fear demonstrates itself in destruction, It's okay to be afraid, but it's a whole nother level to destroy. And so because it has just leaned so far and so high into fear, the destruction has become intolerable. And the high frequency energetic beings have come collaboratively to try to equalize the playing field, the field for which you play on in the realms, and take down that fear-based destructive force so that all of the damage stops and everybody can play in the polarized version of thought and emotional possibilities with far less destruction to each other and to the realm itself.
Wow. Excellent. Thank you so much. And let's go to the next question from Hilda B. When a soul chooses abusive parents, is it because the soul is covered by an altered ego with a victimized perspective? Or does the soul intend to experience pain and suffering for expansion?
A soul chooses every experience for expansion, Master. That's the truth. Whether the soul remains in the, let's call the lead role versus the altered ego role is yet to be determined through the physical experience. But a soul will always come to grow and to know itself as source further through each experience. This is also a truth, and it can be a very difficult truth to understand. Masters, you grow the most in difficult situations. That's the truth. You grow the most in a difficult situation. That's why you created pain and suffering. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean that there isn't an explanation for it. And how a soul chooses to grow is up to that soul, Sometimes a soul will go into an abusive situation to help shift it, to help heal it, to help repair it, to help be the light in the darkness. That can be why it decided to come into that situation. If it does get overtaken by the altered ego, then it's a grinding stone. Then it doesn't seem like too much gets progressed in that situation, but all is well, Master. It's just a moment, and the soul will always, always exist. But please do not let that mean that you have an excuse to not step in and assist another soul when you see that so much harm has taken place. Sometimes those situations are also to see how the other souls will step up for each other. So never, ever, ever stand by and tolerate the harm and injustice placed upon another soul, because, Master, it's you. There's only one of us here, and you get to demonstrate compassion and understanding for your own selves along the way.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And then another question. I'm not familiar with the subject matter, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Are the Charistos one of those beings that are helping balance this realm? That comes from Karen T.
So, Master, it's not beings, it's consciousness, okay? Try not to get singular and identifiable through a costume that something is wearing. Please don't, okay? You're talking about separate and singular. We're talking about unity consciousness, okay? You're not human. You're not Charistos. You're not Greys. You're not reptilians. You're not Palladians. You're not any of those things. You are source demonstrating itself through physical costumes. And there aren't any singular formation of costumes that adhere to a singular aspect of consciousness. So you're profiling, basically, when you make those types of statements. There are high frequency beings in all sorts of costumes, and there are low frequency beings in all sorts of costumes. It's the high frequency balancing out the low frequency. That is what's taking place.
Wonderful. Well, now I am going to grow back up again with your permission. Okay, so we're going to be the same size. That means that we have reached the end of our show. It was again an incredible show, and Mama Wales is saying, Bedat Fakar, interesting question. I'd love to know the answers to those too. Yeah, I mean, and I have to say, I'm keeping so many questions from that for the upcoming week. So thank you. And maybe I was showing a couple of messages from MK, which I think it's a very interesting comment. This one is, I think just watching these shows blow up your energies and frequencies. Love out loud. Definitely, I couldn't agree more. There's so many things that if you start reflecting and you start seeing your holographic projections in a different way, that definitely makes a big difference. So, Casey, as usual, in this timeline trespassing show that we have been, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much to all the audience here. Incredible today again, as usual. More questions coming in. Another question, this one actually from Christine. So, Christine, I'm going to have to cut and paste this question because we definitely want to have this question for next week or whenever is a good time. Hopefully next week. We have so many questions right now in the backlog list of questions. So we're going to say goodbye. Thank you again, everybody. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your incredible questions. Again, Christine, I know that you asked a question, but we don't have time. Hilda, I know that you had a question in the beginning of the show, geometries, and for that, many more. Anyway, all this to say, thank you so much, everybody, for being with us again. Thank you for allowing us to, keep on walking, running in this expansion, Ask Julius show. And we will be here next week again at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US. A special thank you to everybody in so many places in this Earthship. And now I lost Casey again, but that was again this holographic jump of her projection only. Okay, so don't get distracted. All right, so Casey, any final thoughts, comments?
Always so much gratitude. Please visit the website, channelingjulius.com, channelingjulius.com. Check out everything we got going up. Got all kinds of other things, shows that I've got coming up, interviews that we've got coming up, and always this show. You can always find us on the website. Always, always, always. Sue keeps everything up to date on the website. So if for some reason, like Angel said, one of our social media platforms goes down, don't panic. Go directly to the website. There's always links there to be able to connect everybody with everything. And we just love you so much. We look forward to our Thursdays. Everybody have an amazing, amazing, abundant week for you.
Absolutely. Again, thank you so much. Don't worry too much if you see that something goes down because it will be back up soon. And I will keep on posting those wonderful messages that you send to us at the end of the shows, even if we play our goodbye video. Again, Julius, thank you so much to all your group of entities. Casey, incredible, amazing. Thank you. We keep on making a big difference and changing this footprint in humanity. And again, my name is Angel Rebo, as usual, from Dallas, Texas. And everybody in the world who's been, following us from Latin America, South America, from Europe, from Asia. Incredible experience to have you here. Okay, so I'm going to play the goodbye video and see you next week. Bye-bye.